Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Don't mind my head. We are sanding furniture, so I just didn't want the sanding bits to be in my hair, so I just wrapped my head up. But as you all know, or as you don't know, I am moving and we are doing DIY furniture today. So my boyfriend and I are sanding all of my current furniture, and this is actually furniture that I had already painted before I moved here. I did do this DIY once before, but I didn't even start my YouTube channel then, so I decided to go ahead and record it this time around.
He's body baby, oh. He's body baby, oh. Yeah. It's up.
So this is my bed. This is actually like a charcoal color gray, and I painted that. Excuse my room, y'all, everything is all over the place, but this is the color of my bed, and we're just gonna sand this down and do a different color because the gray, I'm just kind of, you know, done with it. But it's been like this for 3 years. I kind of want to try something different, something new. So this is what we're painting. So we're painting my bed. We're also painting my vanity here, also the same color as my bed. Everything we painted the color of my bed. Like I said, excuse my room, everything's just all over the place. We painted this, which is like a I forgot what these are called, like cubicle things. It's like a 6 cubicle. We also painted, I'm gonna go outside and show you guys what we painted, a dresser. This is the dresser here. But it started chipping because the color, the original color of the dresser is actually red, if you can see on the inside. So he's outside sanding. I'm like, that's gonna take a while.
Yeah, I might have to come get a little grit with you.
One that's better than that one?
Yeah.
You gonna take those back?
Oh, I mean, we need these at the house.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this dresser was actually originally red. So we're trying to get this gray off and
nice little video.
So so I'm gonna kind of just set y'all up while we work. We're actually gonna go to Home Depot and I'm gonna bring you guys with me to kind of see what color I'm picking out. And what are you doing back there? And then also he's gonna get some more grits for the sander. So let's go. So initially, we kind of wanted to go with, was that like a light gray color? We kind of wanted to go with a light gray color. Actually, I have the colors in my pocket. I can show you guys. So, huh? Okay, so at first we wanted to go with cotton gray, which is like this color. It's like a really light gray. And then we saw grayish, which is a darker gray color. But then, leave me alone. The people don't care about my head. They're trying to get some information. Ain't that right? So then we decided to go with, oh, I think the woman took the color that we got. Anyways, so the color we decided to go with is called Gravel Stone. It's a really cute light nude color. It actually has, do you think it has a hint of gray in it? Huh? Do you think it has a hint of gray in it? No. Like, it's just like basically like a nude color. It almost has a hint, I guess, of brown almost. So I'm gonna tune back in with you guys when we get to the house and we get to going. This piece of furniture was red whenever I got it, and I just painted over it. So which is why you see the red coming under the gray. Unfortunately, we think that the wood is dyed red, so we can't get the red off, but we're gonna just paint over it again and make sure it's not able to be chipped like it did last time. So this is what the red is. So my boyfriend is outside putting in work, and he's going through and sanding all of the furniture. Right now he's working on the dresser. Please, you guys, be mentally, physically, and emotionally prepared to take hours to sand your furniture. It just took a lot longer than expected. which was very draining. But this is due to the fact that you have to make sure that you're being very neat with sanding so that when you put your paint on top, it's not a rough surface. So you want to be very neat. We did get the lowest grit possible to be able to sand as quick as possible. But you know, some of these pieces of furniture were just very large that it took a while. Now, maybe if you have a bigger sander, you could go a little bit faster. But this is a pretty good sander from Home Depot. I'll link that in the description box below. But just wanted to let you know to be prepared and be ready to put in some work, okay? We are moving on to piece number 2. Hey, hey. If you need my help, just ask. You want to be Superman? That's good right there. So this one also has color underneath it. This one has green under it. I think these both came from IKEA, which is why they're colored like this. I think these are actually intended for like a child's room. So he sanded this all the way down. All the gray is completely off. And he's moving on to this biggie right here.
I'm gonna say hi to people. Hi, people. Well, mommy and daddy are working hard.
Okay, in order to make your DIY furniture paint, you want to have your paint, plaster of Paris, an empty container, and some water. This container here, I'm going to use to mix my paint in. But in order to paint your furniture, you can't just use a regular paint. You have to make it a furniture paint. There's a specific chalk paint that I like to use to paint my furniture. It gives it more of a matte look instead of a glossy look, and it also just makes it look like the furniture came the color that you painted instead of you paint. Like it doesn't look like you painted it yourself with this paint. They also sell chalk paint in stores, but when I tell you guys, it's extremely expensive. So this is just a way to make it more affordable. So first, I like to start off with the plaster of Paris. You're supposed to have 1/3 plaster of Paris, 1/3 water, and a cup of paint to every cup of paint. But measuring is overrated, you guys. Actually, the reason why I couldn't measure is because all of my dishes and things were packed up for my move. So I basically had to eyeball. I definitely would recommend using a measuring cup. So when you do mix, make sure you do 1/3 plaster of Paris, 1/3 cup of water to every cup of paint. But I'm just eyeballing here mainly because I've done it before. So yeah, I went ahead and do the plaster of Paris first, and then I'm gonna pour water into the same container. And then once I do that, I'm gonna mix those two together to make sure it's a nice, even consistency. And here you'll be able to see I kind of played with the level of plaster of Paris and water, just because I wasn't measuring, so I wanted to make sure I had enough of the plaster of Paris in there. Okay, you guys, I have a lot of tips for this process right here. You want to make sure that you stir this mixture really, really well. I would say for about 5 minutes or so, just to make sure there's no chunks of plaster of Paris in that water. Because the last thing you want to do is have the paint poured in there and then it gets chunky, because that will happen. Also, I was playing around with the level of how much plaster of Paris I was adding in there because I didn't have a measuring cup. So if you have a measuring cup, you can kind of avoid the guessing game. But just make sure that that plaster of Paris in the water is completely mixed together before adding in the paint, just so you have a nice, even consistency throughout the entire batch of paint that you're creating. Another tip I want to give is absolutely do not think that you don't have enough plaster of Paris after adding the paint and decide, oh, I'm going to pour the plaster of Paris in the mixture after I've already added the paint. No, do not stop, because that will make your mixture chunky and you'll basically have to just throw it away, because it will put chunks on your furniture as well. That was one mistake I kind of ran into. Just wanted to give you guys the good tips before you get going so you don't make the same mistakes that I made as well. So now it's time to pour in the paint. As you can see, I'm very excited, just because I wanted to see what the paint was going to look like. I couldn't pour it on this dresser because I was scared that I was going to drip paint on it before I got going, and I didn't want to mess up my coats of paint. So I decided to pour it in on the ground, which is what I'm doing now. And I really, you guys, was just eyeballing. This was just straight up. I had no idea the levels of what I was pouring, but I was making it work and it worked out fine. But please, please, please use measuring cups. I just didn't have them. They were packed up and didn't feel like going to the store anymore. But here we have it. I've poured in the paint. I'm mixing it all up really well, really, really well. Mix for another 2, 3 minutes, you guys, because you want to make sure that plaster of Paris is all the way throughout that paint and mixed really well so that you don't have parts of regular paint and parts of, a mixture. So you want to make sure everything is nice and mixed, and just flick the wrist. Use that wrist work that you have going on there and just mix it up really well. Now, once you are done mixing, before you put paint, and here's where I messed up that I was telling you guys about earlier, putting more plaster of Paris. It made my mixture chunky, so that's why I gave you that tip earlier. But once you finish making your mixture, please make sure to wipe down your furniture with a towel, because you want to make sure your surface that you're working on is nice and clean and there's nothing that can mix in with your paint and mess up the color of your paint and whatnot. So just make sure everything is nice, clean, and neat. Another tip of what not to do is, please do not use a roller, you guys. Oh my gosh. Using the roller made it look horrible. Like, I don't know if you've ever painted before, but using a roller versus a brush, it gives it obviously a different type of texture. And the texture that the brush was giving it, it was just horrible. And I obviously didn't know how to use this little roll-on pan thingy. But anyways, I was trying to be quick and trying to hurry up and cover as much surface as possible without using a brush. But the texture that this roller gave it was just not what I was going for. Like, the brush look is just more of a furniture look of how, handmade furniture is painted. So using the brush was just, or using the roller was just not it. Don't do it. Listen to me first. Don't do it. Don't try to be quick. Just take your time with the brush and do it that way. Another thing that I noticed that the roller did before I started going over with the brush was the roller put these little fuzzies all in the paint. If you can see right there, it was like little fuzzies in the paint, and it was just blowing me, y'all. So I was kind of aggravated at that, but I mean, I just kept going. But like I said, yeah, do not use a roller whatsoever. So now I'm trying to make up for the roller. So it took a lot of work to kind of get that brush stroke through the paint that I had already put on there from the roller. Here, the color of the paint kind of looks white, but I promise you it's not. When it dries, it darkens up. It's so pretty, but you'll see at the end of the video the actual color. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go through and paint every single piece of furniture that I have. I promise you it took me maybe 3, 4 days to complete all this furniture, but we'll get into that later. So here's my progress so far with the painting. I was very satisfied with how the color was coming out and how the whole thing was just coming out. It was starting to get dark, so I had to bring my light out, which thankfully I had a bunch of studio lights. But it came out so pretty. Look, they just got here. Hey, babe. But so we just started going ahead and putting work with all this furniture. I'm not going to bore you to death and show you everything, but I just want to kind of show you guys just in fast speed of how, we going through and painting all this furniture. Y'all, we're still at it. He's trying to leave me. You want me to do all this by myself?
Hello.
We just not getting to the bed. We still gotta do the vanity. But basically, it's coming out looking a little bit whiter or a lighter color than we expected. This is just the first coat, so I'm gonna let it dry tonight and we're gonna do another coat tomorrow. But this thing right here took all day. This one thing right here. So he's working on the bed. Is it painting better than this?
Yeah, but I'm putting a light coat everywhere first.
Okay.
And I'm gonna come back.
Yeah. So many things. So everybody, it is, what time is it? What time is it? We've been at this since 12 o'clock and it is 11:38 p.m. and I just finished putting a top coat on all this stuff. Or not a top coat, but the first coat on everything. So so I just finished the bed. It looks really nice. The bed, and so the only thing I have left to do tomorrow is the vanity and then another coat on everything. The first coat took a long time simply because of on this and on the dresser because of the color that was underneath. But the bed and the wood panels really didn't take that long, and it just has one more coat tomorrow. Now, if you can see, it's darkening up the color, so it's more of like a beige color. If you look at the color of it next to the white, you can tell that it's a tad bit darker. And if I back up, you can really see it well. So it turned out to be a really good color, and I'm just gonna finish it up tomorrow and show you guys the finished results, and then I will of course show you guys what it looks like set up in my room. So you guys, this is me putting on the final coat. I definitely recommend putting more than one coat on your furniture, unless maybe you start off with a dark color furniture and then you're also painting with a dark color paint. Maybe that'll work with one coat, but I definitely recommend multiple coats of paint. This definitely took me over the course of like 4 days to complete because it was so much furniture, but I really enjoyed it. I also thought about starting my own furniture painting business. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. But yeah, this is the last coat before I show you guys the final result. So the furniture is done and I have it all moved in. I really love how the vanity came out. The color is just so beautiful and it just makes it look brand new, nice and fresh. This is the cube that took the absolute longest. The paint and everything just came out so nice. Nice, even paint. I really love it. The inside was actually, oh, this is some sheetrock from mounting my TV. But the cubes came out really nice, and I really like how this looks as well. And it looks really good. I'm gonna switch out these black cubes to match this basket here, because that's the theme I'm going with. But I'll update you guys on like my whole, I'm gonna be giving a house tour in a few weeks, so I'm not gonna spoil that for you guys, but I just wanted to come show you the furniture. Here is the dresser. I love it. It's super nice. Nice and pretty. I need to go through and take all this paint off here. And there's also like tape stickiness here. So I'm gonna go through and take this off the glass. And then here we are to my favorite piece, which is the bed. Guys, like this came out so pretty. It got a few nicks on it from us moving it because I was a dummy and didn't cover like everything, but I have touch-up paint, so what I'm gonna do is go over these parts that got nicked during the move. Ignore my pillows. I need to get new pillows and throw all that away, so just ignore that. But I'm in love with the furniture and how it came out. I could say definitely that this is my favorite piece right here. I love it. I love it. I love it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below if you like this color better than the other color, and if you think it makes it look more fresh, because that's what I was going with or going for. And Instagram, actually, I put this up for them to vote for me to move, like to change my colors. So if you want to be a part of making decisions around my house and want to just kind of chime in and get involved with some things I'm doing, make sure you follow me on Instagram and you can vote for some things that you think is the best for my place as well. But thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.